Hello there and welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars set review, the first one of 2024. And yes, I am recording this in 2023, so happy new year, and I guess I will quite literally be seeing you next year. But today we'll be taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars TIE Bomber, which came out just over a year ago. I was going to do a review January 1st, but thought I've got to go through all the sets. I've promised this extended video and I do hope you enjoy it. I'm yet to record that, so my voice is good for these reviews. There are a few I'm doing, all the Christmas sets, and hopefully that will take me through to my Lego order. But a few quick facts about this set before we begin. Of course, it came out last year, January 1st, 2023, 625 pieces, 4 minifigures, of which only 3 of them are unique to the set. Admiral Salone, we've also got the TIE Bomber pilot and a Gonk droid. Of course, Vader isn't exclusive because we also get him in the throne room diorama, and later on he was also in a mech. So it's quite nice to get Vader in a few different sets, and I don't think they overdid it like they did Din Djarin in the Mandalorian set. So it's quite nice. We got him in a TIE Bomber set. We also got him in a diorama, slightly more expensive, and then to get him in a mech, as long as they don't whack him in a load of sets this year, I think that's quite reasonable for LEGO to be doing. Now, this does work out at about 9.6 pence per brick, 10.4 cents if you're in the States or in Europe, as it does go for $65 and €65. Of course, that's 60 quid if you're in the UK, which now I've built it isn't too bad a price. I thought at first it was pretty expensive. We've got the TIE Fighter for £40, and even that was a bit too pricey. £35 would have been sort of a sweet spot. £30 would have been amazing for that set. But now I've built it, it's definitely a bigger model, uses more pieces. TIE Bomber, it's basically got 2 cockpits, and the cockpits go all the way to the back of the set. But that's enough of me rambling. Let's take a look at this set and go over all the different play features and everything this set has to offer. As you can see just by the size of it on my desk, this is by no means a small Lego set, even though it only comes in at £60. The giant pieces for the wings, and quite generally the TIE wings, do make the TIE ships from LEGO seem bigger than perhaps they compare to some of the other sets, at least where the price and piece counts are concerned. And it's a valuable set. 9.6 pence does put it under that 10 pence threshold, and does actually come with a nice little speeder of sorts to carry the spare missiles for the ship. Now, the missiles do slot into the ship just here, and perhaps that could be the first thing I show us. If you flip up the model, you can see just there 4 yellow missiles just neatly locked into the bottom of the ship, and there is actually a hole at the top to push them out with. Just here you can see the 4 of them, and when they are pushed out, they do. It's a bit hard to do with one hand perhaps, but if you've got 2 hands, you push them out and they drop right through to the bottom of the ship. You can push them all at once, but I guess if you wanted to push them separately, it's a bit harder because of that one hole. But it might have been nice to have had a little cover to press through, but with how long they've made these missiles, it does make sense why they've just left the open top. And just to put them back in, just so I can show you on camera, it's fairly easy. You just push them into the bottom and they slot right into one of 4 of their holes, and they're Technic holes that hold these missile pieces, the same pieces we've seen in Star Wars since pretty much the dawn of the theme. And just like so, it's pretty easy to load. If you do end up losing one, you can use one of 2 spares that are on the back of this cart. Now, you may be wondering where the 4th minifigure is. Of course, he had to be in his seat in this cockpit just on the left. Now, before I get to the minifigures, there is one problem I have with the cockpit, and it's that it doesn't always go down smoothly and somehow catches the slope just on the right here. So over time, that's definitely going to wear down the piece. And in fact, I can't even get the cockpit down here. Sometimes I just have to slide it to the left. I'm not sure if that's just the way I've put down some of these pieces. It's all clipped together properly, all clipped together quite firmly actually, and it just keeps getting caught on that slope. So if you do end up having this problem when you're putting down the cockpit, at least you can just flip this cheese slope like so, and it pushes down the cockpit just fine. It isn't too obvious of a piece swap because you've just swapped it around, but I'm sure you could probably swap it for a double-sided slope that you can get on Bricklink or in other Lego sets, but it just stops that piece being worn down and makes it go down flush every single time. Now, that is about all of the play features except for these flick fire missiles at the front. I'm not going to fire them because I will never find the pieces, but once again you do get, I think, 2 spare green ones as part of the set and 1 spare just in case you've missed a piece whilst building. So it's quite nice. Lego do give you the spare pieces and they're in this nice light grey new style of stud shooters. They're not all too common yet because you're still getting mostly the blasters in their stud shooter form, but they're making their way around the sets, especially in Star Wars this year. We've got many of that type. But if we spin the model completely around, you can see there are 2 engines. They're the same on either side. And in fact, the wings are also built very similarly. So if you are planning on picking up this set and you get to the first wing, which it tells you to build 2, you can build 4 if you build the other 2 in a mirror-like symmetry to the manual, which of course I did. It saved some time, and in fact we can take a closer look at one of these wings because they are held on by these 3 Technic pins just here on the side. It's a very sturdy connection. Don't let it fool you by just seeing the 1 brick there, because there is also another brick behind that's actually built into each of the sort of engines on the left and right. So it's in very sturdy, definitely not falling out. And we're using the Nuar 6x6 piece with the Technic on the bottom. I believe it's the same piece used as the TIE Fighter. Of course, the wings can fold pretty much into a taco-like shape on the other side. So I guess that's quite fun. You've got 2 tacos for wings, and they're held on by actually 6 clip pieces. And these are more just supporting this little build that you add on, as it's not really connected too much on the other side, only 2 studs. You got some slope pieces and this black bit holding pretty much the whole wing together. That's the foundation of the wing, and a nice strip design going along here with, of course, the lovely 2x2 round printed tiles. I love these for tiles. They pretty much go hand in hand with the printed cockpits, and you always get another specially printed piece, normally on top of the TIEs, Advanced and regular TIE Fighters. But in this case, because it's the bomber, they've given that printed dish to the other engine. And I really do love the wings, a lot more so now that you can have a little taco in them. I wouldn't recommend eating them. They're Lego, they're ABS plastic, which is not very tasty and definitely not good for your health. But the wings just clip on like so, and it's an amazing model. Now, looking at the minifigures, we do get a TIE Pilot. Technically it's new. The TIE Pilot costume itself I'm pretty sure isn't, but it is the minifigure head. In fact, the legs might be new for this TIE Pilot, but it's mostly the minifigure head, the combination of them. And actually we might have got some new printing for this TIE Pilot. Of course, he's got the back printing as well, and no toe printing yet, but it's a nice costume for outfit, uniform even for the TIE Pilot. And of course he's got that printed helmet to go with him, and if you hold the blaster like I have with him sort of holding it backwards, he does fit in the cockpit of the TIE Bomber. Now the next minifigure we have is Rey Salone. She is on this speed up right now, but if we pop her off just for a second to look at that new Imperial uniform, you can see she does have the Admiral insignia on her lapel. Also got the 2 Imperial pens, which are sort of identification pens throughout the Star Wars universe. Because she's a female Lego figure, they have printed on these little black bits on the side to sort of slim down the torso. I don't get why Lego do this. I love the shape of a minifigure, and of course you've got the belt printed on the torso rather than the actual hip piece. It's a new head-hair combination for Lego. I'm not quite sure if they're unique pieces, but it does look to be a brand new face print for Rey Salone. And if I flip the hair around, you can see no alternate face print, which is a bit of a surprise, as Lego do like to whack an alternate face print in their sets, in pretty much all of their sets. But she does also come with the back printing, a bit of a crease in her jacket there, so she should probably be standing up straighter. But I do like the extra details Lego have been adding to their printing as of recent. And Vader isn't an updated print, it's in fact the same printing we've got for years with this Vader, the arm printing included, but underneath for 2023 a brand new head. He did get a new head last year and this is another new head. Some lovely printing all around for Vader and a nice stern look under his mask. Perhaps he's looking upon his son with his own eyes for the first time, but it's a really nice Vader. You've seen him in my mech review. There's not much more to say. The best minifigure other than Stallone in this set is of course this Imperial Gonk, and it does look really cool. It actually uses the storage container on the back, so you can store the extra green stud missiles in the back of the Gonk. I don't think they include that in the instruction manual, but they really should, because that is an awesome play feature to just include spare pieces in the back of the Gonk. So hopefully we get to see this in the future, and they could always print some Gonky design on this back block here and just include it for all Gonks across Star Wars, because Gonks show up in so many sets. I guess Imperials do get the most of their Gonks, and even Republic, it wouldn't go past Lego to probably print a Republic logo on the side of this container, because they can use that in other Republic era sets, even if it's a Separatist ship. So I really like this Gonk, and it goes alongside this speeder here, which, as I've said, holds the spare yellow bolts. It's nothing too fancy. In fact, it's quite a nice build to hold these because they're not clipped in, but as long as this speeder is staying upright, these bombs aren't going anywhere. It's a fancy style to the front, all on 2 of these 1x2 brackets, and overall really does go nicely with the rest of the TIE Bomber. So I think I've pretty much covered everything. Of course, we've actually got the mechanism that allows the cockpit to open right here. Just 2 of these hinge pieces which fit nicely together. They look nice and flush on top, and it's very interesting how they've used another hinge piece here, because they don't actually fold in and can't because of that top bracket, but they've used it to try and make it a bit more sturdier with 4 clutch points rather than the 2, and this just clips right on top. They could have made a bit of use with these back spaces, especially at the front here. I thought that's where we originally were going to store the extra bombs, but there is a 2x4 hollow space here, and I think the back here is even pretty hollow. So I'd love to see Lego including a bit more storage display, perhaps a few blaster clips and even a clip for Vader's lightsaber in the back here, because you've just got these bricks on the back which have all these snot studs to hold the engines and don't really make too much use of the space. Now, of course, I have got my Vader's Advanced TIE Mock on Rebrickable, which I will be turning this set into in the near future, so stay tuned and subscribe so you don't miss out on that. And all the other Christmas set reviews leading up to, of course, my Lego order. So I hope you enjoyed this quick review of the TIE Bomber. After all the long videos over Christmas, I'm trying to get a few quicker ones out, especially when I'm just talking about the Lego sets. So hopefully I've given you enough detail and you know a little bit more about the set, as tomorrow we will be looking at the Lego Rex helmet. So do stay tuned for that. Like the video if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe for more awesome Lego set reviews and just awesome Lego sets in general. And may the bricks be with you always.